In a continuing effort to find secluded backpack campsites near the Twin Cities, I discovered that Wild River State Park has 8 of them. Wild River is about an hour north of the Twin Cities, near the town of North Branch, Minnesota. Here's the park office. I used the Minnesota DNR online reservation site to reserve Aspen Knob. This campsite, as I understood it, was kind of located in the middle of the woods and not near any lakes or rivers like some of the other sites I've been at this year. So I figured before I went there, I might want to take a look at other attractions in the park. And of course, the main attraction of Wild River State Park is the Wild River designated St. Croix River between Minnesota and Wisconsin. So I went down to the boat landing for the state park, and I walked on that dock, and I aimed my camera in either direction and took a picture of the river. It was a beautiful day, nice summer weather at the end of July. The river trail is right down by the landing, and it's a little longer than a mile to get to the site of a former dam that was used in the logging industry in the late 1800s. The trail starts off wide and then becomes more of a narrower, forested trail, with plenty of good views of the river as you go along. The Spring Creek backpack site is off this trail. When I was emailing the park office about suitable places to hammock camp, they recommended this one as well as Aspen Knob. And a little further up the river on the Wisconsin side is a canoeing campsite. People were having fun there when I walked by. Some more beautiful views of the St. Croix River. And then eventually you get to a wooden platform with some interpretive signs about the Nevers Dam. Again, this was late 1800s. It was built to help control the number of logs that went down the river to prevent log jams. And it was located right here across to the other side where that sandbar is. Speaking of sand, there's a swimming beach right down on the Minnesota side. And as I walked back down the trail, I saw this houseboat coming up the river. Well, after spending a good amount of time along the river, I decided it was time to hike to Aspen Knob. The campsite is about 1.3 miles from the trailhead on trails that look like this. You'll see signs that talk about expert skate and ski trails. There are ups and downs on these trails. It's not as steep as, say, Afton State Park, if you've ever been there. There are some forks in the road, but the signage is pretty good. The trail goes right behind the park office, where there's a national weather station. As you continue along the trail, eventually you get to this fork in the road. At the office, I was told the campsite was on the left side, but a closer inspection of this trail map said that it was on the right. So I trusted the trail map, and it turned out that was right. Aspen Knob is up on the right side of that fork as you go up the hill, and it isn't too long before you encounter the sign for the campsite. I like campsites that are set back off the main trail a bit. This one is about 150 to 200 feet off the main trail in the woods. Here's what it looks like when you come in with the picnic table and the fire ring. They have new food locker bear boxes at the sites, apparently. And the site has its own private latrine. Here's just a little video panorama of the site. Those 2 trees in the center of the frame are the best options for hanging a hammock, and tent pad areas right there. I mentioned before that I had email correspondence with the park office about which sites might be best for hammock camping, and really appreciated their recommendations. Aspen Knob certainly suitable with these trees. Hung the hammock, definitely used the bug net. Although the bugs were not as bad this time while I was camping. It probably helped that I used these off coils, but really the bugs were not as thick as they were at Lake Maria and Mille Lacs Cathio this summer. Aspen Knob is surrounded by trees, so you don't get a lot of sky. So at 11:30 at night, I walked a little farther down the main trail, and I got to where it opens up here, and I saw a beautifully starry night. During the day, I had walked the trail a little farther, and I encountered a lot of hills, including this really steep one that made me think enough was enough. The Dry Creek campsite is beyond there. It might be a little challenge hiking there. The park office thought I might not be able to find much wood. You're allowed to gather wood at the backpack sites, but as it turned out, I found plenty, and I was able to enjoy a good fire at night. So, Wild River State Park, another place where you can find remote backpack camping and hammock camping sites. Thanks for watching.